Let me tell you about the $0 solution to Jewish continuity. Any observer of North American Jewish life understands there's a serious problem with Jewish continuity. So population surveys show that there were fewer Jews in the United States in the year 2010 than there were in 1960. And this despite the fact that over the past 50 years there's been a fair amount of Jewish immigration into the United States. If there are fewer Jews in the United States than there were 50 years ago, it's because young Jews aren't interested in being Jewish. It's because young Jews don't want to identify with the Jewish community. And of course, the entire Jewish establishment has been mobilized. Philanthropies have devoted tens of millions of dollars to studying this problem and to searching for a solution. But I think that there's a simpler answer. 5 years ago, a young Orthodox woman by the name of Faranak Margulies did a study of the Orthodox community, and in particular of young Orthodox Jews who chose to no longer identify with the Orthodox community. It was a study called Off the Derech, which means off the path. And what she found was that these young Orthodox Jews left the Orthodox community not because they were drawn out, not because they found things that were much more fascinating outside of the Orthodox community, but they left the Orthodox community because they felt pushed out. They felt like the community was too narrow. They felt like their teachers were hostile to them. They felt like their parents were indifferent to them. Simply put, these young Orthodox Jews felt like they weren't loved. And had they been loved, they would have remained a part of the community. Now, there's a fascinating passage in the Talmud in Shabbat where the great Rabbi Hillel is asked by a prospective convert. This prospective convert comes to Hillel and says, I will convert to Judaism if you can teach me the entire Torah while standing on one foot. And Hillel answers famously, love your neighbor as yourself, that's the entire Torah. Everything else is commentary. Hillel teaches this convert the essence of Judaism. The essence of Judaism is loving your neighbor. Now, this is a profound religious truth. It's something we all need to reflect upon. But what is fascinating about this passage is if you go down to the bottom of the page, there's another powerful lesson about loving your neighbor included in the passage. Actually, this one convert was one of a series of three that went to Hillel and made outrageous demands on Hillel. And Hillel embraced all of them. Hillel treated each of them with patience and with warmth. And because of Hillel's patience, because of Hillel's love, these three prospective converts become converts. These three join the Jewish people. And at the end of the passage, it tells us that when the three of them meet each other, they say, you know what? It's Hillel's warmth, it's Hillel's love that drew us into the Jewish people. And here the passage is teaching us a powerful lesson. Love your neighbor is not just the essential truth of Judaism. It's not just the core, the main teaching of Judaism. Love your neighbor is what continues the Jewish people. It is the glue that bonds the Jewish people together. It is the glue that bonds generation to generation. And this is the secret of Jewish continuity. Loving people, saying hello. Anyone who's been in our synagogue on Shabbat knows that I have an obsession. Every week I get up and I announce that you must say hello to a new face. You must make people feel welcome and included. And I have to tell you, after doing this for years, I have members that come back from other synagogues that they visited throughout North America. And they come back sometimes with some very sad anecdotes about how they go into a prominent and large synagogue, which had a very powerful scholar in residence. Every seat in the synagogue is taken, and not a single person says hello. And I have to tell you, this is the problem. This is where Jewish continuity falls apart. If we want to solve the Jewish continuity problem, we simply have to teach people to love more, to say hello more. And that is a free solution. But if every Jewish institution took it upon themselves to make sure that they were welcoming, if every Jewish person took it upon himself or herself to say hello and to treat every other person with warmth, if the Jewish community was truly a loving community, we would solve 80% of the Jewish continuity problem. And it is a free solution. Teach our community to be a welcoming community, and the Jewish continuity problem disappears. That's what we need to do. If we want our children and grandchildren to mention Hillel's name, we need to teach them Hillel's lesson. And Hillel's lesson is very simple. Love your neighbor is the essence of Judaism, and love your neighbor is the essence of Jewish continuity. Children that have loving parents who love them and teach them about Judaism will join the Jewish people. Children that have loving teachers who love them and teach them about Judaism will join the Jewish people. And I have to tell you, strangers that meet people in synagogue and meet people at schools and meet people at federations and find them to be loving and welcoming, they too will join the Jewish people. This is the $0 solution to the Jewish continuity problem.